All right. Yeah, we're back. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. Whew. So, quite a revelation here. So, let's back up a little bit. I want to go back and revisit Ben. This is Ben from Suspicious Observer, okay? The one of their favorite scientists, all right? One of their spokesmouths or whatever. Listen to what he says here, okay? Let me get this ready to go here. I gotta slow down and focus here. Alright, let's play this.
Alternative news stories of that time was that a few days after this video aired, the buoy disappeared, and to this day, both it and its data are gone. Further complicating the story is that this region forms a geographically small triangle with the strongest magnetic point on Earth, the South Magnetic Pole, and with the Dragon's Triangle, Asia's version of the Bermuda Triangle, and indeed, that new pole position is near where those airplanes disappeared in recent years. Now, since one pole might reasonably be expected to emerge on the opposite side of Earth, we find that to be here, in South America, or perhaps just
In a
offshore,
minute, Jen, I'll show you the
forming a
filters.
geographically small triangle with the weakest magnetic region on Earth, the South Atlantic anomaly, and the Bermuda Triangle, where airplanes may have been known to encounter a difficulty or two over time. So the magnetic poles are on a collision course, at a point near the magnetic maximum point of Earth in the Dragon's Triangle, with the other side of the world, where the other pole would be, happening to sit next to the magnetic minimum point of Earth and the Bermuda Triangle. This is not your normal polar wander. This is a true shift. And Earth.
This is a true shift, is what he said. Okay? So if we were to see some kind of magnetic anomaly right there, it would be signs of a true shift.
Earth is already down approximately 20% in magnetic field strength and decreasing, as if all these coincidences.
It's down 20% and decreasing. That's because the core and the shell are grinding on each other, slowing down, and the dynamo inside the Earth that generates the magnetic field is slowing down, decreasing our magnetic field.
Coincidences aren't enough. There is one more, and it is the big one.
I decided.
It's the big one. I'm not going to listen to this guy. I just wanted to revisit that a little bit now. Back to the main event here. Okay, here's our current conditions. Um, the middle doesn't. It was the middle was very defined at first and tight, very tight coiled here. But then, as I started the report, it grew. All right, it grew outside this white little box. You can see the latitude, longitude box. If not, anyways, it's right inside this longitude, latitude. I've got a globe over here my little footstool over here that I'm going to pull out and we'll do a demonstration here. But for the moment, we need to look at this spot. This is hell of important right now. You see these defined rings right here? It's growing out this way. Earlier, let's zoom back a bit and keep it in frame. Okay, I got to kind of keep moving it or those little, the wind comes up. The wind is nuts. It's all running backwards. I'll show you that here in a minute, but we got to focus on this spot right now. This is of the utmost importance, okay? Now what I've noticed is, remember up here it was bright red? That part has faded. It's more turning into circular more down here now and around here. Okay, you notice how this is red, okay? This is our new geomagnetic hotspot, our new South Pole. That's what Ben was saying. The South Pole is more dominant, so it would probably be the one that rises up to this spot. He said both of them would meet at this spot. Our poles are wandering, right, in that V-shaped direction. I put this little green circle as to the spot that they predicted that the pole would meet. We're not very far off. This has got to be it. With the activity that I've been reporting on, and you guys have been seeing lately, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go back through like at least my last 5 to 10 videos. I have spelled this out. And I was expecting to see something like this, but not this early. I was just looking at the winds today. See these winds? All the winds in the South Pole are going back, or on the southern hemisphere are going backwards. and they're creeping all the way up to the 15-degree parallel, or 15-degree line above 15 degrees above the equator. So when I release this and you see the winds, they'll be up here and stop. Okay, we have this defined barrier where all the wind is moving backwards, right? The entire southern hemisphere, as we rotate around, is all moving backwards. Okay, that was the one last thing on the checklist that we needed to check off. Was number 2, storm reversal. Oh, what else was I going to say about that? Oh, right below it, number 3 is record storms, and I put the word super in between 2 and 3. Super storm reversal and super record storms. Okay, so we are seeing the super. Wait. Let me get this right. We're seeing storm reversal, okay, because the winds are going backwards. Then the superstorm reversal is this bad boy up here, okay? Now, everybody was paying attention to this, right? I was looking at this and everything, and I wanted to see, I was following these inflows. I always look for inflows because I want to see what direction. I always look for inflows. It wasn't until I was following this inflow back that I came over to America. Now let's take a peek at America. I want you guys to look real good, America. I'm going to zoom in. Look at the wind direction, the storm direction. Everything's going backwards. Okay? And that's storm reversal. That was a side effect that we were looking for. This list that we made were events that happened on the other planets. So those were evidence that we would see, that we would look for in our planet if we were having a core reversal. So that top 10 list, now 12 and about to be 13 here in a minute, that's a list of signs to look for. Then there was a column to the right of that with Earth and Sun, or Sun and Earth, a column for Earth and a column for Sun, and the side effects, or what to look for in the Sun and look for in the Earth if either one of them were having a core reversal. So we have like 3 lists, okay? It's the top 10, now it's going to be 12, 11 and 12. Okay, now we're going to add 13. I guess we'll call it, I know what we'll call it. Okay, so we're zooming out of America while you're looking at it. Since this is my discovery, I'm going to name this effect, I don't know, I'm not going to be too scientific on it, just a kind of fun name. How about pole position? Okay, because that's what it is, pole position. That's the position the new pole is going to be at. We might see a huge earthquake in this area. We might see huge earthquakes across the globe now. It looks like it's ready to switch. And now what he was talking about was the other pole. It would be off the coast of South America. Hopefully some people are joining in and paying attention. Okay, now we're coming over to where he said it might be. Now there's 2 spots here. Let me get rid of these wavy lines. All right, there's 2 spots here. He said possibly off the coast of South America, and I see a hotter spot over here because their prediction was off by like one of these blocks. It was off by 15 degrees, the other one. So this one might be also off. It should be off equal distance, about 15 degrees. So I believe this is going to be our new pole, and I'm going to be watching this for the same pole reversal. okay? The same spinning effect. I'm almost guaranteed we're going to see it. It might be spinning the opposite way or whatever, but we're going to see some kind of spinning effect in this region right here, either spinning around this hot spot or spinning around this one. And I believe it's going to be this one. I'm going to show you something else, the reason why, too. You guys are going to laugh at this one. So, you know what? Yeah, Poseidon pole. Yeah, I like that. We could come up with some different names, but if we go scientifically, this is going to be a, how would you put this scientifically? Let me think for a minute. I got a couple other things I want to report on. Now, also something else. Look at these flows here in the neutral zone. Okay, this is the 15-degree parallel. All right, and it's not. It's that's the barrier. It's not going above it. The only place where it's going above is right here. Magnetic anomaly, no, that's not Bermuda Triangle. That would be up in this region. We might see kind of a magnetic anomaly here and over in the Dragon's Triangle where he pointed out. We'll go over to that in a minute. Okay, so we have a full 180 right here, okay? Another one right here and another one right here. This is flow coming off the southern hemisphere. The southern hemisphere's flow has surpassed the equator by 15 degrees. Did I say that right? You understand what I'm trying to say. This has exceeded this field of reversed wind has exceeded the equator by 15 degrees, and it's a solid barrier with U-turns, 180s, all three are feeding the big guy. All right, and you see how this monster storm is rotating? This is going to be ugly. I need to think on a second about what they're really going to experience here in a minute. But now, as we continue on, I'm going to go over the top here, and I want you to see how both of these connect up and are feeding off each other. They are generating this effect. It's a split vortex that we see occasionally in between seasons, okay? This effect is not uncommon. It does happen, but not at this strength. To have this main polar vortex, this is the main polar vortex, okay? To have it offset of the pole, here's the pole right here, okay? To have it offset, the center of rotation of this whole thing is offset by the pole by a lot. By way a lot. And all the flow area that's going around, this is going to be all the damage path, everything in this white. Here, let's back out just a tad bit more. Okay, let me hold on for a second. Okay, everything in this whole zone is just going to be chaos here. You're going to see extreme winds hitting England, especially this place right here. They're the first coming off this corner and whipping around here. They're going to get brutalized. Up here, there's nobody up here, so that's really going to be intense right there. Okay, let me swivel over to whoopsie this side. Be patient with me, please. You're trying to get, I want it just right, but we'll just go like this, I guess. This is where the inflow is, okay? Notice how there's very little ejecta. It's all staying nice and organized. This polar vortex is going to turn into some kind of massive cyclonic storm, just like we've seen in the day after. What was the movie? I think that was it, Day After, where they had those giant hurricanes. Now, as I look at this, I just want you guys to look at that and think for a minute, okay? Everybody in Europe, everybody in the war zone over there, everybody in Germany, Turkey that just got slammed by the earthquake. I showed you the huge fissure that opened up there. are all about to get slammed by a hurricane winter, a winter cane. And we always thought a winter cane would rotate like off of the coast of, northern, America or something like that. No, it's going to straight up be the whole polar vortex moving across the face of the earth as it travels towards our other point. They're going to exchange positions is what I believe. So, now as we do this, I'm going to back out a little bit. What else was I going to point out? Yeah, we need to talk about this just a tad bit more. You guys need better reference here because I'm looking at the screen. This is the Black Sea, okay? This is the Mediterranean Sea. Here's Spain and the Straits of Gibraltar. I think you guys can see it now. So it's just gonna, right at the Spain-France border, Spain's gonna dodge a blow and get a sideswiped, while France, Germany, all Europe, all of Italy, Romania, all of, oh my God, this is nuts. This is nuts. Turkey, all of this area. I'm gonna have to pull out the globe, and we're gonna go through a list of countries. Oh my God. So this is where north of the Black Sea right here is right where Ukraine and stuff in the war zone is like kind of around in this area. So let's release this and let the winds. Do you see that? Do you see how intense it is right over the war zone? This is God. This is God punishing what's going on here. Okay? Because I know there's the spiritual realm involved in this. These are more than just events. This is God taking control here. Alright. So let's go up to the center of rotation on that. That is, this is the sea right here. Let me turn my globe on. I used to be an expert here, but these borders are kind of throwing me off without any reference again. Let me hold this globe over here we were talking about. Are you guys saying it in the chat? No. Alright, we're Norway, Sweden, and Finland. So Norway, Sweden, and Finland here might dodge a blow. Well, this area right here, at the top of this Baltic Sea. This is Baltic Sea. This area might dodge a bullet because they're in the eye of the storm. Now, imagine the eye of a storm that is what? If you measured this way, I'd have to get the tool out. I don't have a tool for this device, but maybe from Greenland to, down to here. That's a mighty big eye of a storm, even though it's the polar vortex. It's the polar vortex creeping down. Here's the North Pole. It should be going around right here. Okay? The fact that it has shifted so hard and so much is what's causing our reverse flow. It's sucking stuff up here, but as it spits out at the top, here, let's go to the top here. As these two join together and then spit out, it's right over North America and Canada, the Hudson Bay here. Okay? So there's going to be high winds probably shooting out of this. This is all fast. You might see some high winds in this area, you guys. As far as storm activity, I guess we would look for stuff coming off the Atlantic heading this way, but we're not seeing any storms at all. We're just seeing this dominant weird flow, okay? This screams volumes that something is wrong. This screams volumes that the core indeed has reversed. Now, the center of rotation of this one is, let's take a little closer peek. Oh, it's in the Arctic Ocean up here in between Alaska and Russia. Let me take a peek at this other globe again. That's the Arctic Ocean. Let me make double sure. No, that's the Bering Sea. No, that's the Arctic Ocean. It's above the Bering. That's Bering Sea. So yeah, that's the Arctic Ocean. Think about that. That's the Arctic Ocean acting like a giant storm. It's going to kick down cold air backwards down. It's like a reverse weather report. I heard Ryan Hall was doing a report on this or something. Can't wait to see they decipher this. So now they're having backwards weather in Alaska, and it's like almost at the top of the North Pole because it's taking this polar cold air and dispersing it and wrapping it around. So this is going to be really, really cold air mass as well as this. And you notice this side's kind of green and calm, right? But this side's all intense and red. These guys are about to get punished, I swear. This is going to get ugly over there. I think probably in the next week in the news, if we make it a week, you're going to see some hellacious weather over in Europe. And he talked about winters 4 months long. Oh, no. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to Ben and listen closely for side effects that we'll expect to see now that this is truly happening. So yes, that's what we need to do is go back to Ben now. Where was the side effects? Let's go. Meeting place.
Not a one of them is bright and sunny. First, this region was an incredibly interesting place a few years ago until the data disappeared. Buoy in event mode, south of Bali. For those who monitor the ocean, this is a familiar sight. The tail of this buoy starts with another and begins long before there was such a thing as Station 53046. You will notice the primary areas of coverage from the Solomon Islands east to the Kermadec Islands and up around to Sumatra, all locations of powerful earthquakes in the last few years, except this central three, including 53046 in the middle. Like I said, our story begins with a different buoy, 56003 to the right. She's had a turbulent life, as you can see here. In October of 2008, they put her down, and it was barely a month before the wild readings appeared. She was immediately taken offline. During the time she was down, it could be volcanic, could be related to the fault offshore, forming a geographically small triangle with the weakest magnetic region on Earth, the South. One of the biggest alternative news stories of that time was that a few days after this video aired, the buoy disappeared, and to this day both it and its data are gone. Further complicating the story is that this region forms a geographically small triangle with the strongest magnetic point on Earth, the South Magnetic Pole, and with the Dragon's Triangle, Asia's version of the Bermuda Triangle. And indeed, that new pole position is near where those airplanes disappeared in recent years. Now, since one pole might reasonably be expected to emerge on the opposite side of Earth, we find that to be here, in South America, or perhaps just offshore.
Okay, do you see his location? It's right here, right offshore at the crossing of the equator and some other latitude here. Okay, that wasn't the side effects I wanted him to say. What was the things I wanted him to say? Where'd it go? No, it wasn't there. It wasn't there. Well, you know what? In the meantime, we're gonna hold that thought. I got another little experiment we're gonna do here. So I got my globe over here, and I'm going to first off show you the globe as it normally is here. How do I mount my? Hang on, just a second. Like I said, I had a rough day wasn't prepared to do this part, so let's give this a shot here real quick. Let's see how this goes. Oh, it's great. Yay! Coming in. Oh, okay, I guess. All right, Lord, I guess that's good enough for right now. I don't want to fall out of the tripod. Now, this is our Earth in its normal state. Here, can you see here? All right, this wood is the equator. Here we can shift this and rotate it. Here's our equator line, okay? Let me shift it back to normal. All right, so actually we are tilted kind of like this. So as we go around, I want you to kind of notice here something. Now, the other hot spot that he was talking about, or that I was talking about, happens to be right where the legend is right here. And by no coincidence, as we rotate the Earth around to where the other magnetic pole would be, is almost precisely where this little compass thing is. It almost makes me wonder if they knew something when they put these on the globe, because it's too much of a coincidence. Now for another shocker. This one is gonna be alright. So saying if you did survive all this, let's position the planet at its new positions with its pole at the south, its new and south and north poles, okay? So they believe that the strongest one, so I believe this one might be the South Pole. Yeah, because the South Pole is coming up that way, I guess. So yeah, that's going to be the South Pole. So we'll put that one on the very bottom and bring the other legend thing to the top here. Whoops, right here. All right, move this out of the way. Okay, rotate this so you guys can see here. So I'm going to rotate a little bit more. Just bear with me. This old classroom technique that we used to use, it's best visual so you guys can get an idea. So right here, this is going to be our North Pole, basically right around this area. So as we put that up at the top, let's just say we don't even know what rotation it'll end up with, because the core is spinning backwards, and that one we'll have to do some math on. But let's just say it's positioned with this one at the north and the other one at the south. As we draw a line around the equator, we take a peek at that line. That line is going to be the zero meridian, guys, right here where the equator and the zero meridian come together. See that as we rotate it down? Hopefully it's fitting in the frame. Let me take a peek at the frame. Looks like it's fitting in there, I guess. Rotate it a little bit more this way for the hold table. There we go. It's a little better. So back to where we were. This is going to be our new North Pole. That's it. This is the position. They happen to put this little legend right there, the same spot that I think it's going to be. He says possibly right here. I say possibly right there. Either one of these two spots is going to be our new pole. As we come down to the equator again, I'm going to point it out. It matches up perfectly. If we give just a tad bit of shift, that was only like 2 or 3 degrees, it matches up perfectly with the zero meridian. Now, what we need to do this is just so you guys can think of what landmass you might want to be on, or what it might look like afterwards, okay? So what we need to do is now twist this, because the planet will be rotating like this now. Alright? And as we rotate around, look what shows up on the equator. This will be the equator now. Remember, this wooden rail is the equator. So we're going to have South America in the northern hemisphere, okay? Over here, sorry, I'm looking at it, I should be showing you. Okay, so it'll be positioned like this. We'll have South America in the northern hemisphere, say it's rotating this way. We'll just take a wild guess and say it's rotating this way. Alright? The cord is in the way, so I go back all the way around like this to where we were. Okay. Now the cord's out of the way. Alright. So bear with me. Hopefully you guys are following along now. So yeah, let's line it up again. Nope, that's right there. Shift it. Alright, so here we go. This would be our North Pole again. We got Antarctica. About halfway through Antarctica, it's going to be right on the equator. Now, if this has happened before, folks, this was on the equator. We have all kinds of megalithic structures that line up on this line. So this could have been possibly a prehistoric set orbit from a previous pass or whatever, of these objects or whatever's causing this shift. Now, that's if we have the crustal displacement, all right? There's a magnetic pole shift too. And I don't know how that's going to work with the core rotating backwards. It's just going to be more than just a magnetic pole flip, I think, you guys. Let me look at this for a second. I don't know. Right. We got people in here still? You guys following along? All right, good. I hope I'm not boring you. You guys are learning applied astrophysics. There's theoretical astrophysics, like Neil deGrasse. Well, it could be this, it could be that, it could all be these theories. Well, I've taken all their theories, and this is called applied physics, okay? And we're taking their theories and we're applying them, and we're using the instrumentation which is kicking back results that prove our theory, okay? So we have proved it with 12 points, each with 2 columns of more evidence. So I would say if it's a duck and it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And this is what it's starting to look like we might be looking at here real soon. Maybe between now and the 18th. I had a spiritual thing about 218, and my jaw dropped when Mike said the same date. So we're at the 15th now, sorry. So we are within a 3-day period now. And in a minute here, we'll go back to null school and we'll check the growth of that spot. Stay on your toes. We could have an earthquake at any moment, folks. So I pray to God I'm wrong. But you guys see all the evidence in my my theories here, my applied physics is saying otherwise, okay? Now, back to where I was trying to point out, there was one last thing I needed to show you. Oh, yeah, North America. So, let me take a sip real quick and we'll spin her around to North America. Sorry, kicked the table there. I feel a little better now, folks. Okay. Now, remember, the equator, it might be rotating like this, so we might be rotating around like this, but this is our North Pole up here, and if that's the case, North America is in good shape here. We're going to be in a nice temperate zone. Actually, Canada is going to be turned more into the equator, like a tropical region. All that ice will melt, adding more water to the planet, of course. So yeah, we get all this ice melts, comes down to the equator. Mexico and Well, all this area is going to be far north, up at like the new Arctic Circle. We'll go around like that, and it's mostly ocean. Whoa! Holy crap! You can see from the top, looking down, you can see the old the structure of how it used to rotate. You guys. Oh. All right, all right, all right. Hang on. I'll show you that here in a minute too. If I forget, you people in the chat remind me. Okay. I wanted to show you. You know, I gotta just do it now. Unplug it. Unplug it while we're here. I gotta do it now, or I'll lose my train of thought. I have got too much on my mind. All right. Now, what I want you guys to do is look down here. What I was about to point out is the new circle. All right. Let's put this. This is our new pole. Okay. They happen to have the legend right in the same spot where I think it's going to be. So we're going to place that there, okay, as our new pole. I was going to point out the new Arctic Circle would be like this, and it's all ocean. Right up to the coast, it would run the whole, almost circumference of like a Tropic of Cancer, or a Tropic of Cancer, or Capricorn. So this almost matches a pole already, and the shape of these continents as that being a pole previously. Whew. All right, now, ow, ow. Sorry, I have a bad hip. So we're looking down from the top of the North Pole, looking down at our new North Pole, looking down this way. All right. Now, as we go along, instead of me rotating, I'm just going to do it with the camera. We're going around the equator now with, this is going to be Canada, northern Canada, all the way up to the Arctic Circle is now going to be at the equator. We will be in a nice temperate zone, going possibly this direction, maybe. So, well, no telling with what direction the weather will be going. We won't survive this, folks. This is all hypothetical stuff. I'm just playing with the scientists right now, giving you guys some ideas too, if it is possible, where to go, where you might think survivable landmass might be. Okay. South America's looking good. It's above the equator in a nice temperate zone. Okay, so South America and North America are looking good. All right, now let's go to the bottom of the globe. Is there enough light down here? No. So we'll just reverse pitch it. Bear with me, folks. Ow. Okay, let's rotate this. So that's our current North Pole and magnetic pole. It shifts a full 90 degrees, you guys. A full 90 degrees, making the equator basically the new meridian, and the meridian the new equator. Pretty trippy, huh? Now, I was going to finish rotating. Oh, where's the cord? Okay. So, where's our North Pole again? Right. Whoops, Indonesia, darn it. Didn't all turn around. Oh no, that's the other pole. The other one would be in South America. So, if this would be, okay, so we're turned upside down. This would all be, wait, I gotta position it right. So that's the northern hemisphere. Rotate all the way over to this one. Okay, here's our North Pole. There we go. All right, this little guy is our North Pole. Oh, pretty close. Okay, because let's rotate you this way. There's Indonesia. There's the corner where they predicted. And our anomaly is right there. Or it's right next to this, right here, okay? And growing. So it's basically this thing right here. This will be our North Pole region. So we put that at the top. We look down from here. Let's see what kind of Arctic Circle we would see. Would be outside of, pull back, I'm busy pointing. So outside of Australia, this region might be in an Arctic region. So there'll be southern hemisphere possibly. This will be South Pole. And yeah, South Pole. And whatever, Malaysia and stuff like that, that'll all be Arctic region right there. Let's see if we're rotating this way. Let's take a look at the side over here where we have, oops, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Africa, okay, all rotating that way. So they're all going to be southern hemisphere. Africa's going to stick out kind of weird. Let me get the meridian line lined up real quick here. There it is. Oh, it's like 5 degrees off of 0 right here. Whoops. There's 0 right there. Okay. Runs right through Egypt and everything. All that will be the equator now. The equator's going to run through Algeria, Spain, France. Alright, so that's the little experiment there. Alright, just kind of give you guys an idea of what we're looking at, dude. We can theorize. I used applied physics and just kind of proved that we're about to do this dance. Now, let me fire up the computer real quick here. Thanks for your patience. I got
a small triangle with the weakest.
I got a weird style, but I make it work. Get you back over here, folks. Turn off some lights, take the table away. So, you saw where our new poles are going to be and where our new equator is going to be. It happens to line up with the meridian and the equator. So this is going to be very interesting. We're looking at a 90-degree shift, folks. And magnetically, that kind of lines up. That would sound proper. And with this inbound wave, or this incoming, hang on. With this incoming wave that Mike's talking about on the 18th, that would line up pretty good timing with this event unfolding. Now let's get back over to null school. Oh, the settings. Who asked? Yeah. Are you still there, Jen? Are you still there, Jen? Because you're... Oh, excuse me. Here's the settings. On mode, you put it on air. On overlay, you put it on wind. And you want to go to 10 HPA on the end right here, okay? All these other settings are just going to show you lower altitude winds and stuff. This is the one we want right here. This is the stratosphere winds, okay? This is the one that we were talking about earlier in his thing. Oh, is it in that one? Yeah, maybe it was in that one. Yeah. Okay, is she still around? Oh, okay, you got it. Okay, so yeah. I'm sure somebody else needs these too. So yeah, everybody get these things down. Oh, a projection is also on O. So that's the circular map as opposed to a flat map. So that's the O on the projection. The overlay on wind, one more time. The 10 HPA, that's the stratospheric wind. Your mode, you will put it on air, not ocean or chem. We want the air. This is our airflow right here, okay? And I wanted to control the date because I wanted to go back a year and see what this looked like a year ago and what the flow in the southern hemisphere was looking like, because this flow in the southern hemisphere is deeply disturbing. Let me pull this off. The entire southern hemisphere is all going the opposite direction, you guys. That was a biggie on the list. That was like the one that we didn't have any evidence of yet. And the next day, are you serious? The next day I click on this and this is what's going on. Let's come back over to our anomaly. It's over on this side. See how it's doing. All right. Ooh, it's looking pretty organized still. I do see Maybe you guys can see it too. Let me try a little darker, lighter. Try a little darker. See these defined bands? This is a spiral. These tighten as they go down. This isn't just rings. This is a tightening spiral, almost like the spirals we see on the hieroglyphics. I wonder if this is like one of those spirals or whatever, because this is not a hurricane. This is not a storm moving. When you look at the winds, there's nothing going on there. In fact, let's just double check. Let's go to lower surface winds, maybe 850. Remove this. Are you shitting me? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? This thing is generating a freaking hurricane out here right now. Can I zoom in on this? Anybody have any idea what the name of this hurricane is? When did this develop? Anybody in the Weather Channel, get Ryan on this. Get anybody on the history of this spot right here. I want to know that. Jen or anybody on the team who's got any skills, these computer skills that are better than mine, because I'm old fart and old school. It's frustrating. At least I got an open mind and I know how to think and what to look for. So, oh my God. Now, let's go back to this real quick. So, we're going back to our overlay. We're not going to move let's go through all the different levels. Let's go 1,000 here. Okay, it's still there. You can faintly see here. Let me remove that. So at 1,000, it's still there. This is going to form something too. Where is this? Let me back out a little bit. Get a reference. Oh, yeah. This is our anomaly. It's forming over our anomaly in the ocean, you guys. It's either this storm is causing that, or that effect is causing this storm. Let's try something else. Let's go. We did 850. Let's do 700. We're kind of dropping in the atmosphere. We're going lower and lower. So let's remove this. Let's look at these surface winds down here. See, these surface winds down in Australia are still moving this way. So that's good. It's the stratospheric winds that are all going in reverse. They're all going in reverse. They're causing this, dude. Where's this other eye? I don't think this hurricane, because watch, there's winds spinning around this at lower latitudes. Let's keep going lower. I pray to God this is just a hurricane and I'm freaking out over nothing. It just happens to be too close to this spot. Now this is our spot. This hurricane could be also signaling that spot is happening underneath it. Or above it. Okay, so look at this. Let's go back over to America. I want to see what the winds look like at the lower level now here in America. Because the jet's going backwards. Wow. So look at this, you guys. The stratospheric winds are going backwards while the lower level winds are going forwards. How do we describe that on the storm reversal? Huh. Well, this is good news. At least the lower winds aren't freaking us out. So this is our storm coming in. Can we go even lower? Nah, that's the good one right there. Yeah, that's where most of the activity is at 250. All right, so let's X out of this and look at our lower level winds. This is that gnarly drop in the jet, okay? Let's look at the top of the planet. All right, this is what Ryan was talking about. This polar jet has created all these little lower level waves. Let me back out of this. Look at this. See this? This is lining up with that upper level jet. Let me see what's going on over here. Oh, this is coming off the coast of Russia. Okay? So our upper level jet and everything is going backwards while this stuff is flowing underneath. Look at these hard corners and curves. I'm wondering if we're... Let's look at the southern real quick. Let's look at that flow. Oh, I know. Let's go over to... Oops, we're upside down. Alright, let's go over to our spot. I want to see... You know what? This is a hurricane. I don't know if these are bands up at the higher elevations or if these things are causing that hurricane. So let's go back up to the stratosphere again at 10 HAP. Let's click out of this again. So this is our upper level jet, okay, you guys? This isn't the ground level winds. We're not seeing reversed winds at ground level yet, but our stratosphere is not doing the choroidal effect I showed you in the last video with the arrows. So our upper jet is our first indicator, I think, of this pole reversal. Let's go back over to our anomaly here. Yeah, possibly our hurricane. Maybe the hurricane at lower jet or levels is causing this up at the upper jet. But I've never seen this signature before, and I'm telling you, it is too coincidentally close to our position that we were looking for. So we'll calm down a little bit. Let's look into this some more. But I'm telling you, that does not look right. That is the typhoon. See, geomagnetic activity underneath the Earth causes electromagnetic disturbances, causing storms. This might be off of the storm list of, what was it? Not reversal, but where'd it go? The other storm, I see it. No. I got a scribbled page of notes here. I got to redo this. Oh, penetrating radiation triggering early storms or triggering storms. Okay. Is this from penetrating radiation? Is this a hurricane? Because I don't think up at the stratosphere. Look at the winds. I don't know. This is open for debate. I'm pretty sure I know what this is, but if we have a hurricane there, could be the cause of this, or the hurricane could be a result of this. I need a professional weather analyst like Ryan Hall on this here. Let's go back to, that's who it was. It was Ryan Hall that I needed to do the report. So, thankfully I remembered that. So let's go back. I need to zoom out. Or no, let's just open a new page. I'm just gonna go right over to Ryan Hall. I'm gonna play his report again because he laid out a list of signs again, a whole nother list we need to write down of weather signs. So if we could just skip this dork and then add here. What happened with my zoom? I need too zoomed in. That's what happened. Alright, zoom out. There we go. Alright. Whoops, too much. Alright. Sorry, I'm blocking you guys' good view. I just want to pull up this, no, it was right on. Is that it right there? No. I want to pull up that report again because he said something in there that I want you guys to hear again. Where did it go? Is this it? Yeah.
That entail how I think the weather patterns are going to change for us. And if you're one of these people who are hungry for snow right now, you're going to be very interested in these.
Just to restart a video, gotta watch another ad.
Weather patterns worldwide.
All right.
This is going to. A chain reaction is about to happen above the North Pole that's going to wreak on weather patterns worldwide. This is going to increase the risk for intense storms and cold air blasts across the U.S., meaning that many areas that have been spared from winter weather so far this year are likely in for a rude awakening from old man winter. In many regions of the eastern U.S. and Europe, winter has been relatively mild, resulting in empty ski resorts and early signs of spring such as pollen and budding flowers. But that's all about to come to an end as the weather patterns that have been causing this warmth are about to get shot down like a Chinese spy balloon. To figure out what's about to happen here, we have to start by looking at the atmosphere above our atmosphere, which is known as the stratosphere. Much of our weather happens in this first layer of the atmosphere called the troposphere, but there's all kinds of different weather systems happening of that in the stratosphere. One of the most notable weather phenomena that occurs up there is this huge swirling cyclone of Arctic air that locks in cold air around the North Pole. This is called the stratospheric polar vortex. And the edges of this vortex are basically what we usually call the polar jet stream. Right now, the jet stream is so out of whack, giant waves are forming on the edges of the polar vortex. This is actually going to cause the vortex to crash into itself. And
I'm going to rewind that a second.
Right now, the jet stream is so out of whack, giant waves are forming on the edges of the polar vortex. This is actually going to cause the vortex to crash into itself, and the winds are going to weaken and then start going in reverse. This is going to release all that cold air that it had locked up. And as it goes down towards the troposphere, it's going to heat up as much as 120 degrees as it falls. This is what
Wow. That was a lot right there. Let's replay that again, you guys, and kind of listen real quick here. He's talking, I just showed you the lower level winds and stuff, and now he's telling you that these lower level winds are due to that effect. Now, let's one more time.
Giant waves are forming on the edges of the polar vortex. This is actually going to cause the vortex to crash into itself, and the winds are going to weaken and then start going in reverse. This is going to release all that cold air that it had locked up. And as it goes down towards the troposphere, it's going to heat up as much as 120 degrees as it falls. This is what meteorologists call a sudden stratospheric warming event. And basically, in a nutshell, this means that there's going to be a bunch of disturbances to our weather patterns as we go forward. Large waves in the jet stream and Arctic air spillage will lead to bigger storms happening on a more regular basis. We know all of this because sudden stratospheric warming events happen every other winter or so, but the intensity of their effect on the polar vortex and resulting weather patterns vary. In fact, some stratospheric warming events, or SSWs, are classified as minor, especially when there's only small changes that occur with the winds inside of a polar vortex. However, the SSW we're about to see is forecast to be major, which is when it's so disrupting that the polar vortex winds actually reverse.
The polar vortex winds actually reverse. Okay? We were just looking at the sun and its vortex doing its polar crown, that solar crown effect, and now here's our polar vortex pulling some weird maneuver. So let's listen some more here.
SSW in recent memory happened in 2018. Just like this year, 2018 was pretty mild through mid-February. But then the stratosphere suddenly warmed and weather mayhem unfolded over a lot of Europe and the eastern side of North America.
Did you hear that? Let's replay that.
and weather mayhem unfolded over a lot of Europe and the eastern side of North America. In late February, a blast of Siberian air, later called the Beast from the East, invaded Europe, leading to the coldest weather they had seen in years. And then in March, frigid air came...
All right, wait. The coldest weather they'd seen in years. When we go back over to this, let me pull back Europe. The coldest weather they'd seen in years. Look at this. Europe is going to get blasted. Just like this polar vortex is saying. All right, let's continue.
North America and set the stage for 4 huge snowstorms in the Northeast. This is what could actually happen this year.
4 huge snowstorms in the
Now, I put together some forecast maps based off of this SSW.
All right, so that was the end of that little report. So 4 huge snowstorms in the east. The last time something like this happened, okay? You know what? I think I'm a little relieved that that was a hurricane that I looked at, because that was totally out of... And I still see this heating up over here. It makes me wonder if subterraneally is causing these stratospheric winds to change and causing these hurricanes over here. I don't know. It just didn't... It looks like it's coming from the ground right here. And for it to be right next to that spot, there's something going on over here. I don't know if it correlates with an earthquake, if that's what this is, or if that's going to be our new pole. But typhoon, yeah, it is a typhoon on the lower jet. So, but this is up at the higher atmosphere. This it could be swirling the winds way up high. But when you take away the winds up high, are doing straight. Okay, so that's what makes me wonder about this. It would be swirling down below the stratosphere, I guess. Yeah, maybe I'm tripping and this is a hurricane. I pray to God that's what it is and I'm wrong, but it sure is in that location where we're looking for our pole flip. Okay? Maybe take the alarm off a little bit, but I want to hear more. Oh, that was all about what he said. The rest is an ad. So thank you, Ryan, for letting me use your video for educational purposes here. We're trying to save lives and help people out. I'm going to be paying attention to his next report here. Let's see if he's reported on anything lately since this, because I want to know more about what the southern part of this polar vortex is doing and what is going on with that anomaly right where we would see our new pole. So I might change the title of this and erase the old one because I was crying in that one, and maybe it's not as serious as we think, but boy, this is just these are signs that I was kind of looking for. The last one to fill in was the storm reversal, and we're seeing this. And the weather guy's reporting on this too. He's reporting on this. So they're gonna see some nasty weather in here. Regardless, you know, this is not a big old winter hurricane, but up in the upper atmosphere, we are having polar vortex anomalies. Like I said, here's the top, and it's way off center. And it's so off center that it's driven the southern jet to all be the opposite direction with a barrier at 15 degrees. I don't know. It just really looks fishy. Is this El Nino just a warm patch of water out here? I don't know. When I'm looking at this stuff and all the jets going backwards, and this thing was small when I first reported on it, so this thing either grew in intensity, this hurricane or typhoon grew in intensity in the 5 minutes from when I loaded it to when I started reporting on it. No. I pray I'm wrong. I pray this is a typhoon and it's all false alarm. But these are all clues, and we're getting really close to something here. I'm telling you, that just doesn't look right in that spot at this time when we're experiencing these things with the sun and our polar crown and our polar vortex. We got two polar vortexes and another vortex here underneath it. So I guess maybe it's all causing some kind of typhoon, because when we go down lower, let me just admit I'm wrong sometimes. But let's go lower here. That's the one, 250. No, yeah, that's the one I want to see. All right, let's go in on this. Really? This is almost surface level. Let's go right to the surface level. At surface level, there's no hurricane. We go up 250. That's 250 feet up in the air. There's a tight air vortex. Go up a little higher. Now we're getting closer to the stratosphere. It's really tight right there. Huh. It's just weird. What is going on with this thing? This is like an upper level jet hurricane that at lower levels is not doing anything down here until about 250. Then we have this massive change. So it's not a hurricane on the surface, but maybe one's brewing. It's a typhoon brewing or something? Well, I'm going to have to study this instrument a little bit more. I was just coming over here to report on the polar vortex when I noticed the southern hemisphere's winds all go in one direction. That was a little disturbing. And then while reporting it, I saw that little circular thing, and uh-oh, I'm thinking electromagnetic disturbance being picked up on this instrument from the seafloor. That's exactly what I thought, but that was up at higher elevations. Let's go back up to the strip. Wait, I'm going to go up just below it. Well, if it's a typhoon at the surface, it's really doing a number at the upper levels. And I don't see any like bands. You know, if it was a hurricane, we'd see some of these bands coming off, as it rotates around like a hurricane has the rain bands. We're at 250 here. I don't see any rain bands. And this is an odd swirl, dude. What is going on here? That's a typhoon. A really tight eye? Wait a second. Look how it's sucking air in. Usually there's the front wall here. This is on the southern hemisphere, so I don't know. I pray to God it's just this little typhoon at 250. Then it gets bigger and tighter as we go up. We're going up until we hit the stratosphere. And at the stratosphere it's smooth, but below it we have this anomaly. So are those the rain bands, I guess, being picked up from that little typhoon, and they're just not oh, wait, let's go to ocean. Yeah, it's disturbing the ocean. How do we get the waves? Yeah, let's see the waves. Waves are circulating around from it too. Yeah, it's definitely a surface anomaly though. It's a typhoon. But why is a typhoon causing such a disturbance at high elevation like that? It it could work both ways. Maybe something up above is reaching down and causing the typhoon. I don't know. It's just odd that a typhoon at low altitudes, it's not all that strong at low. Where am I going here? Where did my thing go? Oh, back to the air. There we go. So that's the stratosphere. Or no, that's SFC. That's probably just below the stratosphere. Because that's stratosphere. So 1,000 feet up, it's tearing it up. Okay, well, whatever's going on, something's creating a nice, healthy typhoon out here, too. So I pray I'm wrong. We'll wait for his report tomorrow. I think I might just close it up tonight. Let's go back one more time, though, because even if that is wrong, we can still go to... Take this off. No, it's the wrong setting. There we go. Now take it off. We can still report on this vortex. It shows nothing. So that's just going on in the stratosphere. Looks like it's having some weird effect here, though. Alright, let's drop a little lower real quick. I'm learning how to use this, so maybe I tried wolf too soon. Let me use this tool here. I don't see much on this one either. So that upper polar vortex doesn't seem to be affecting the lower jets so much. Let's remove this. Here's Spain, here's the Mediterranean still, so we do have some kind of storm coming into the New England, or into England and stuff there. Okay, whew. I'm going to sleep a little bit better tonight. Want some answers still, though. I'm pretty sure it's a result of our hurricane. Alright, let's pull back from this real quick. We're looking at the upper level jet. This is below the troposphere. And that was what he was talking about, are all these gnarly little walls, how that double effect is causing all these waves. So, let's go over to America and see how it's affecting us. We got this huge hump that's coming down from Alaska. Boom, it's driving stuff into the west coast. All that's going to combine over the east coast again. You guys are about to get hit with tornadoes in the south here, I think, where these two boundaries merge. That'll be Florida or Alabama, Georgia region and stuff. I think probably going to see stuff in that region. All right, cool, because I don't see that anomaly. It just doesn't have those waves going around it. All the other models don't have those waves except for the stratosphere, and it's showing it under the stratosphere. It's just an odd reading, especially to have it in that spot at this time when we're experiencing all the other things on the list. Alright, well, I went a little long. I'm glad things are a little calmer here. I'm going to look into this some more because there's something going on. They're reporting on that. Excuse me. They're reporting on this polar vortex. I'm wondering if they missed, because they're so busy looking at that everything down here is all going one direction. And we got this hot spot right here where the other pole would show up. So I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to be watching this thing for the rest of the night. We still do have that little earthquake swarm at the New Madrid fault line. Okay? And I would take that serious because we saw an earthquake swarm in Turkey. And that was more than just a little bunch of aftershocks. That was a whole swarm. So I'd be keeping your eye on Nashville and that area, the New Madrid, right where we saw those. All right, I'm going to call it a night. I'm tired. I've had such a long day. I'm glad that kind of relieved that this is probably a typhoon. False alarm, hopefully. But we'll be back with more just in case. Just in case it's not. Because I wouldn't mind being wrong. That would be nice. We wouldn't have to worry about this so much. Let's just look at it one more time here. Oh, get rid of this. Well, it's having a massive effect at this elevation. If this is the troposphere, green and red readings are. This looks like temperature from the ocean, right? If this, no. This looks like El Nino and stuff. Or La Nina. Ocean temperatures, looks like. What's going on here? See all these crisscrossing lines you got? Almost like magnetic field lines? Nah. Tripping. I'm tripping. I've had a long, hard day, so I pray I'm wrong, but let's just... It's not a radar thing, like a NEXRAD radar blast or anything like that. But something to be concerned about here, especially when we got two arrows pointing to this region and this thing showing up right when we're having this stuff going on. So, pray to God I'm wrong. So that's it for tonight. I love you all. God bless you all. See you all tomorrow. Bye.